have Richard Vobes and the lovely Julia here at the World Council of Health. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
It's our pleasure.
So I was tipped off by a Brit, a lovely British lady, who said you must go speak to Richard Vobes and the lovely Julia because they're becoming quite an item in England with the lovely English couple.
Well,
the English couple.
The English couple.
Okay, so
We are lovely, but we're English.
tell me about your story. How did you land upon this? This fame? What happened?
Well, it's funny. We went on YouTube. Everybody loved us, and that's the story. It's not quite that easy though. We had a channel before which I'd started called The Bald Explorer, which was an old thing, going around looking at landscape and heritage.
10-minute videos a day?
Every day. And I met Julia through that. And so Julia then became part of the team, and we were carrying on looking at landscape, heritage, nature, Englishness, and all of that.
Yep.
And
fairy trees.
And fairy trees. Then I sort of diverged after about 5 years and was talking about the truth movement, freedom, sovereignty, all of this, going down rabbit holes. And the channel changed, and we felt some of the stuff that we were doing wasn't quite appropriate for that, so we set up a sister channel, The English Couple. So we now demonstrate what it is to be an English couple.
What we think it is.
What we think, as quintessential as we can, and explore similar things as we did before, but things that couples do.
Yes.
We argue and we moan and we don't.
No, we try to do light-hearted stuff, keep the vibrations high, and because that's key right now.
That's very key. Mm-hmm. So what else are you advising people to do? In England here, we're in a war.
Yes.
So how are you suggesting that people manage themselves through this crisis?
So the channel started with me really coming to terms with what was happening. And I was questioning, why would a benevolent government who is there for our benefit put forward all these weird ideas and these notions, mandate something which had not been tested, and make sure people had it, which then afterwards was causing a lot of people problems, and they were ignoring it. Why would that happen? Why would they want to have everybody on digital IDs, 15-minute cities? Why are we following the policy of net zero when global warming isn't the issue that everybody seems to go along with? So that's how it started. Then I was going down the rabbit holes, and now it's coming out the other side, trying to find solutions. And the main solution is we just have to take back our own responsibility again. We've given away so much to big pharma, to big food, to big government, and we've just got to take back all of that responsibility and be ourselves again.
Yes, calmly resist and say no to nanny state, essentially.
Absolutely.
Take back the reins.
Take back the reins. Are you finding that there is momentum building here in England?
I think so, yes.
Absolutely.
I think never before, while a lot of this rabbit hole stuff has been known by a number of people who have been discredited all over the place and said they're nut jobs and it's conspiracy. Now people are beginning to realise that these conspiracies actually is history, it's real, it's current, and I mean, what a time to be alive. We are at a pivotal moment in humanity. We can see what they're trying to do to us, and people are beginning to wake up and feel they want to do something. They don't always know what they want, how to do it, and it's places like this that are giving guidance to starting to take back responsibility, turn your back on government, make them obsolete, and get on with your life, become sovereign, be free.
Guidance and solidarity. This conference screen.
So really, your message is very positive. It's one of take control.
Yes.
And own it.
Yes.
And chart your own path, and don't let the government control you.
That's right, and it's waking people up to how the nefarious ways, the insidious ways that the government do control you, and how through convenience we have been dumbed down and have acquiesced to things that we didn't necessarily even know we were agreeing to. We just let it happen. So, and it's not just the government, it's the corporations. So people have at home devices that they've willingly purchased that are listening to them. Occasionally it might play a bit of music to them of their choice, but its principal job is to listen and record to their conversation. That wasn't on the strap line, on the sales stuff, but that's
Funny
what's
that.
going. Yeah, it's funny that.
Yeah.
But that convenience, and it all started to me, and I remember this back in the 60s when people had to get up off their sofa and tune the television manually, and somebody came out with a remote control. And convenience starts in a very easy way. Like water, it takes the line of least resistance. We've got to now look for the line of most resistance.
And push against it.
And you know, Julia and I have a range at home, a wood-burning stove in the kitchen. We go out and chop the kindling. We light the fire. It takes a bit of time to heat that up. Whilst that's heating up, we chop up raw vegetables and we cook a meal. It can take an hour to be able to have that meal, but when you have that meal, it means something more because you've had to create everything from pretty much scratch, rather than that very convenient thing where you just buy a TV dinner, slap it in the microwave, 10 minutes it's consumed, and it's done nothing for you. In fact, it's done bad things for you.
It's filled your belly slightly, but
Filled
for
your
what?
belly and, yeah.
You've got no nutrition out of it.
So,
what is your message to the vaccine injured? What do you have a message of hope for them, or what because this is a large group
yes,
in England, I'm sure, who are awakening
absolutely.
to the fact that they made a grave error.
The thing about the vaccinated injured, well, anybody who's been vaccinated, is we who have not have to let them save face, because they were duped as we were, but maybe we saw through the messaging and the mandates and the cajoling, but we're all on the same side. That's the most critical thing. And even if they were quite nasty with their comments to people who didn't go along with it, we have to let that slip. It's like my mother was an alcoholic, and I learned very early on, you cannot argue with an alcoholic. You couldn't argue with those who were taking the vaccine because they didn't want to listen to what we thought was reasonable. So you can't argue with an alcoholic, so don't. So we have no argument with people who were nasty to us about, oh, you must take the vaccine, yet we didn't. We're embracing them and say, come on our side now, because it's not about you and us against each other. It's about them who did it to us.
It's not about who was right and wrong between us. It's about who's caused
That's
it.
bygones.
Yeah.
Don't focus on
That's
that.
water
That's
under the
right.
bridge.
It's water under the bridge. Going forward, we're all on the same side.
Absolutely.
And we're under attack.
And there's
Yes.
more of us than there are of them.
Yeah.
We all need to link arms and move forward and make new future somehow.
And resist them as calmly as we can without getting too violent, but be assertive that we're not going to follow their diktats anymore.
Yes. And say no.
And say no.
Say no. That's the message. Because if you don't comply, this plan
Yeah.
fails.
You have to consent.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they want you to consent. It's the only way you can make you to do it. And if you don't consent, you keep your sovereignty.
perpetuating it.
Yeah.
Well, Richard Vobes and lovely Julia, thank you so much for your time. I think your work is really important.
Thank you
and
very
I can see why the Brits love you. So I wish you every success going forward. I'm going to keep an eye on you too.
Please do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.